Hey, so we did the last video in Second Chronicles, but we also finished the book of Matthew. And we had to have a book to continue from Matthew, so we're going to do Mark. And we're going to talk about Mark 1 through 12 in a short description, so here we go. So the book of Mark provides a fast-paced, action-oriented account of Jesus as the servant Messiah, emphasizing his deeds over long discourses. The first thing you see is the preparation and authority. Following his baptism and wilderness temptation in 1:12 and 13, Jesus begins his ministry in Galilee, preaching repentance and demonstrates authority over disease and demons. The second thing we see is the busy servant. The word straightway or immediately often translates forthwith, highlights a rapid sequence of events where Jesus meets needs and challenges traditional or manipulative teachings such as those of the scribes. So the scribes and Pharisees, if you know anything about them, they's always on Jesus about something, trying to find fault in him. Thing is, they'll never find fault in him. And, you know, I mean, even the devil couldn't get him to fall under his temptations in the wilderness. Let's think about that for a second. And you know, he has rule over the demons too. The demons even know who he is. When he was talking to the people that called him, they called themselves Legion. They said, they called him Jesus Christ. Art thou the, they said his name. So even they believed too. And even when the devil tried to tempt Job, let's think about that for a second. When the devil tried to tempt Job, he had to literally go to God and ask him for permission to do such to Job. Job was never perfect because Job questioned a lot of things God did. And when you question what God does, you're not perfect. You may not do anything wrong, but you're not perfect because you questioned the authority of why God lets these things happen to you. But moving on. Signs of the Messiah, miracles such as feeding the 5,000, walking on the water, and healing blind Bartimaeus in chapter 10, build toward his entry in Jerusalem, which is in chapter 11. And then the last is his authority is charged. In chapter 12, Jesus addresses the leaders with parables of judgment, affirming his authority and highlighting the hypocrisy of the scribes. So the scribes and Pharisees were hypocrites. They just tried to find fault in Jesus all the time. But we'll move on to the next one. That'll be the last one for today, y'all.